Hello and good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well and that you've been having a wonderful time. So, apologies for not having had a Zoom meeting for quite some time, especially the live one. We've mostly been doing the recorded ones and uploading on YouTube, but I think for the past about 2 weeks or so, heading into the elections, we've not really had that much analysis being shared. But it wasn't our decision. It's not what we wanted. But now we are back, and we'll try our best to be doing the analysis as we've been doing for the past 2 years on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30. So, welcome everyone. I'll do the usual, do a breakdown of the analysis, what I'm seeing in the market, fundamentals that are expected in this coming week in terms of the currencies we're watching, the major currencies, as well as a few stocks that we're watching. This week we have an important news coming out that I'm sure most people are not aware of. I remember my first almost 3 to 4 years of trading, I didn't know that this news that I'm going to share with you guys, I'll explain to you guys today, that it was really important. But I'll share with you guys today because this analysis, or rather this meeting that is being held this week, brings together about the most powerful people in economics, and it's normally held once a year, and it's called the Jackson Hole Symposium. So I'll share that with you. But it's a very important news because we want to pay attention to what these heads of finance, economics, what they're these professors and all, what they're looking at in terms of the economy, what they're projecting, and what we'll be expecting in the coming months, especially from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Okay, so without saying much, let me share my screen so that you can look at it. Apart from that, as we head into the last quarter of the year, remember also the time zones are going to change. So I'll keep updating you people, but that's still way, it's towards the end of October and towards the start of November. So it's not yet anytime soon. So no need to worry about that yet. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. I'll start with the news, what I'm expecting to see in terms of the news first, and then we'll go into the analysis, in the technical analysis. So first and foremost, what I'm looking at today is Monday. No much major news today, so there's nothing much happening today. Most of the things that we're expecting will start coming in from tomorrow. I don't see anything important that much tomorrow, especially from my point of view. I don't trade the pound, I don't trade the euro, so I'm not really watching that much. Mostly I'll be looking at Thursday, because like I said, Thursday we have this what is called the Jackson Hole Symposium. Okay, and if you click on it, you can get to see that this the economic policy symposium held in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, is attended by central bankers, finance ministers, academics, and financial market participants from around the world. The meetings are closed to the press, but officials usually talk with reporters throughout the day. Comments and speeches from central bankers and other influential officials can create significant market volatility. So these are the strongest people in finance, and they are meeting for 2 days this week. Okay, so we have the first on Thursday, okay, all day, and we have the second one on Friday, all day, to end the month of August. Okay, so it's very important to pay attention. sorry about my voice. So we have to pay a lot of attention to these people. They bring a lot of significance into the market. Okay, and if you can go search them, just search what Jackson Hole Symposium, Economic Symposium is all about. You'll find different websites that explain it in much in-depth. Like this site says, Jackson Hole Symposium, annual symposium that allows open discussion of economic issues, stocks, and currency issues facing the economies in the world. It is a prominent conference that witnesses attendance of bankers, academics, finance ministers, among other prominent participants. So it's almost the same thing that was just explained here. Okay, so we want to pay attention to that. I'm sure you won't get first-hand information, but you'll see a lot of volatility happening in the market as the symposium is going on, especially from what Fed Powell will come and say on Friday, because he speaks on Friday. He might talk a bit about what they said during the meeting, and what they're expecting, or what the other economic people are saying. Not much about it, but a lot of rumors are going to spread around, and a lot of facts as well. So we need to pay attention to the news we're taking in. But the news is not really reliable at the end of the day, so we come and rely on the markets itself. So we always come and rely on what we're seeing in the markets. The markets will always tell us what is happening around the world. Okay, in real time. What I'm seeing right now is what Fed Powell is saying. It's what someone in America is saying, UK is saying. What I'm seeing in the chart is a real-time reflection of what is currently happening around the world in terms of the market prices and the market patterns that are forming. So I'll start with the Dow Jones, mostly because I believe that the Dow is now currently in bullish territory. Okay, I'm normally looking at the Dow theory, and those who do not know the Dow theory, I teach this in my classes, but if you have not come for any of our classes, you can go read up on it, you can do your own research. So I normally have different ways of looking at my Dow theory, which normally gives me a better analysis or better look whether market is in a bull market or in a bear market. Okay, so market was in a bear market when we were forming this lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and a final lower low. Okay, once market came and breached and broke above this level, you can see I wrote over here the Dow is officially in bullish territory once we had this breakout of this level. That does not mean that market cannot come back below this level, of course, and that's what I was expecting, that market should break and come back below this level before we finally get that move to the upside, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So I expect in the long term the Dow Jones to start moving in a further bull trend, but for now, once we cross to this line, okay, this was my previous lower high. Once we broke and closed above it, I expected market to continue moving to the upside. And of course, market doesn't move in a straight line. We need those ups and downs along the way. So I expect market to correct a bit over here. If you go to the 4-hour chart, we can see that market is sort of now strongly pulling back. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised to see market coming back to this highlighted region, which is the $32,500 mark. Okay, it was a major support resistance level before, so you can see here acted as a strong level that we talked about multiple times. Okay, and that's why I'll be waiting to see if market can strongly fall, how can it go all the way to that level. So that's what I'll be paying attention to, and then from there I want to start looking for bullish plays. So I'm not looking to short this pair anytime soon. Okay, I'm mainly looking for this market to move to the upside, so that's what I'll be paying attention to. If market falls strongly below this level, then maybe, most probably, markets are not perfect, we might still be in a downtrend, but I beg to differ. I'm normally seeing more of a bullish momentum, bullish market more than a bearish market in the Dow. Okay, a few weeks ago, before we broke this level, I was strongly bearish, but now that we've broken above, I'm strongly bullish on the pair. So it's just following my system and what the markets are telling me. Okay, apart from that, I'm looking at Aussie dollar as well, looking to see if we can get a buy. Okay, if you look at the daily chart, market sort of tried to break this key level, the 0.700 key level. Okay, very strong resistance level. Market broke above it, became support, and then quickly broke back below. Last week we had a very strong bearish week on the Aussie dollar, which gave the strength to the US dollar. Okay, and market has come back to this level, the 0.86850. Okay, so I'm looking at this support level, and if I go to the 4-hour chart, you can see it much more clearly. This level, the support level, is what I'm watching. Okay, you can see how it acted as support. It was broken, became resistance, we broke back above it, and now I'm expecting market at least to come to this level, get some support. If we get clear support, market rejects it. Okay, so remember, I'm always trading the market with what I'm seeing. It's not just that if market reaches this level, I'll just get to buy because it's a support level. I'll look at patterns that will form around this level. If you get such patterns like this, okay, this is support, reversal candlesticks like the pin bar, the doji forming around this level, then I'll be looking to get a buy back to the $0.700 mark. Okay, I'm not looking for a very extended move. Okay, I'll just be looking for market to come back to that level, and I'll take my good profit, which is a risk reward of about 1:3. Not so bad if you know what risk management is, if you follow risk management keenly. So that's what I'm looking for on this one. So that's all I have on Aussie dollar. If market breaks below this level and closes below, then I'll be out of that market. I won't have any analysis then, because it will have nullified the analysis that I'm anticipating. But so far, that's what I'm watching on that one. Okay. Next, if you look at gold last week showed a very good bearish trade. If you go to the 1-hour chart, let's start with the daily chart so that I do a top-down analysis and you can see it much better. You can see this market. So gold, also looking at the Dow theory, look at this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay, sort of a third trend line bounce. You can see that first touch, second touch, and the third touch. Okay, now if I go to the 4-hour chart, the next thing you're looking at is the patterns that are forming. Remember, I'm always looking at the daily chart to look at the overall analysis of where the market is going, okay, the direction of the trend, and then I push that further into the 4-hour chart to look at the patterns that can give me an entry or an exit depending on the direction I'm looking to trade. And then I go to the 1 hour to get those quick entries and exits of the market. So this one, if you look at the 1 hour, last week we had this pattern. So a few weeks ago I had a loss trade on this one, then another week you can see this pattern that market came, that first touch, second touch, third touch, what I normally call a 3 push. Very good, reliable reversal pattern, okay. Entries at that level, looking for market to correct back to the resistance level, $1750 mark, okay. Market beautifully hit it. That was last week, and now we're seeing market still pushing to the downside, and the level I'm now looking for is the 1735 level. Okay, why is that so? Because it acted as resistance, market broke above it, acted as support. So I want to see how market is going to reject this level, and whether we can get a bit of a correction a bit further up before we get that strong correction to the downside, or further movements to the downside. Okay, so that's what I'm watching on gold. I don't have anything much, just want to see how market will react to this level. It's not so far away, it's about 30 pips away from the 1735. It's basically around that. If we're talking about the zones, it's basically already reached. If it's talking about a particular level, it's about 30 pips away, okay. But in the long term, look at this, it's a good channel formation, okay. I'm looking at this big picture channel formation to see how market can respect it. Market can easily, you can see how it was forming over here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Can we get a further push to that level in terms of the channel formation? Okay, so that's what I'm watching on gold. And last but not least, the pairs that I'm normally looking at, USD CAD, very good, very interesting patterns. Okay, if you look at the 1 hour chart, those are good trade opportunity last week here. If you're normally looking at key levels and you're trading key levels, this was quite a clear analysis on this one. The 1.2850 was a good support level, and how I was looking at this analysis was very quite simple. This was an impulsive move. Market corrected back to that support level. You can see it was rejected at first. Market tried to move up, but there's no much momentum. What happened after that? A quick drop back below, okay, but there was a failed follow through, and I normally teach this in my class. It's called a failed follow through. That market did not continue moving further down, had a quick reversal back up strongly, engulfing the previous candlesticks, and that was the point of entry, giving a good risk reward of about 1:3. Okay, and you can see how market hit the target over here, the 1.2950. It was a 100 pip move, okay, and how quickly it was rejected. Okay, this is a normal analysis that we're normally looking at. It's a resistance level, and that's why you're seeing that strong rejection. Eventually market actually moved further up, breaking above the 1.2950. now the 2950 is acting as a support level. Okay, so that's what I'm watching this week moving forward. So always looking at those levels, and I like calling these levels like going into different floors of a building. So depending on the floor you are, you need to respect the floor and the ceiling. Okay, so you have a floor and you have a ceiling, and you're trying to respect the two of them. The ceiling is acting as your resistance level, and the support is, the floor is acting as your support level. Okay, so respect those two levels until the level is broken, because remember, for every ceiling, if you go to the next, if you go above it, the ceiling now becomes the floor, and that's the same thing I'm normally teaching in my class. Okay, that's what you're seeing in the market. Once you break a resistance level, it becomes a support. So once you break a ceiling, or once you go above the ceiling, it becomes the support level. Okay, so that's what you're normally looking at, and that's what I'm watching in this market, just looking at those key levels which are acting as my support and resistance levels. And now we are above the 1.2950, and you can see how it was acting as a very good resistance. Now it's acting is going to be my support for the week, and my resistance for the week is the 1.3750, which was strongly rejected in the previous weeks. You can see that touch. Now market is sort of trying to push back to that level. If market is able to correct back to the 1.2950, I'll be looking for a buy level so that I can buy it till that level to the upside. Okay, if market is able to go straight till here, then I'll take a short trade back to the 1.2950 and see how that market goes. Okay, so that's what I'm paying attention to when it comes to USD CAD. Last but not least, we're looking at things like the dollar. Dollar has been in a strong bullish trend. The trend is your friend until the trend changes. Okay, no. So you can see how market has been forming new higher highs and higher lows. Okay, in the long term, ever since 2021 January, market has been forming higher highs and higher lows on the Dow. On the dollar. Okay, the trend has been your friend, and you can still see the impulses are forming to the upper side. Okay, so the impulses are still pushing. Look, impulse, correction, impulse, pushing. Look, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. Look at that impulse that's coming. Okay, so as much as this impulsive move is coming, I'm always paying attention to the previous high. So now that's what I'll show you on the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, I'm paying attention to this level. Okay, this level here, can this level act as a double top, normally a reversal pattern, to push market further lower? Because this trend has been really going on for a long time, so I'll be expecting some correction to be coming in quite soon. So the start, I'll be waiting for this one first to be hit. So once this one is hit, I'll look to see if market can correct back to this highlighted level. Okay, and then we see how market will move from there further on. Okay, so that's what I'll be watching. I'm waiting for that resistance level. It's at the 109 dollar mark, so that's what I'll be waiting for. If it doesn't go straight to that level, I'll see if market can push back to this level, the support level 107.25, and then get a further move to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm watching on this one. Okay, which will give me a better analysis on my other pairs, whether to get those longs or buys, especially if this market can come to this level, get a rejection like this, then I'll be very short. I'll be long on the Aussie dollar, looking to buy that Aussie dollar. So if market reaches that level, I'll be looking now to buy this. It will be a good confirmation. I'll be looking to buy gold as well, to see if it can move up, and I'll be very quick to sell the USD card back to this level. Okay, so that's what I'll be watching on this one. And other pairs, just to give it a shout out, the Euro USD, it's been in a downtrend. Okay, also respecting the trend lines. Okay, so if you look at this big picture analysis, you can see how market has respected this first touch, second touch, third touch, and the fourth touch. Market is pushing to a new low. Okay, also respecting this channel that's in formation. So you can easily come and reject this channel, just like what you saw on gold. Okay, so same thing happening there. GBP also crazily falling to the downside, respecting the Dow theory. You can see market hasn't broken to a new high. Okay, so this is my level to watch. If we break this level, then we'll be in bullish territory, but since we've not yet, I'm still in the bearish territory. And if you are doing that, you're seeing you're in a much better position compared to someone who's trying to buy it to a new high. So that's pretty much it. I don't have anything much. I'll leave the rest to Ken, who comes and does the rest of the analysis, or rather the rest of the pairs, which are normally EJ, GJ, oil. Those are markets I don't watch, so I don't have any extensive analysis on them. So I'll leave Ken to come and do that. But as I said earlier on, what we're watching this week is the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, what the Feds and the central bankers and the ministers are going to say about the whole global economy this week. And from there, we'll have a clear picture of what is going to happen. So that's what I'll be watching. I don't have anything much. I believe I'll end it there. And as usual, this video will share it on YouTube. And I'll do a recap analysis on Wednesday to see how markets have been favoring, how they've been going, whether our analysis were right or wrong, and how we were able to adapt to it. So apart from that, I don't have anything much. Allow me to end it there. And I'll see you guys soon, most probably on Wednesday. And as I always say, remember to stay woke, stay financial.